Reeves, Bianca Keaton, and Jason Estevez. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, Sachin. When I was coming in today, I was on a phone call with my mother, who grew up in Mississippi. She and my father raised us there, moved us here to Georgia in 1989 when they were both called into the United Methodist Ministry. We lived in Georgia from '89. They moved back to Mississippi in '93. I stayed and attended college at Spelman. I left for a brief sojourn to Texas and then to Connecticut. I got to Texas when they were electing George Bush, got to Connecticut when it went Republican, came back to Georgia, though, because it was safely Democratic for a couple of days. I got back in '99, and by 2002, the tides were changing. 2004, 2006, I joined the House in '06, and in '04, the House had gone Republican. This is a moment for me that I have dreamed about, because I realized I couldn't move again. I was born in Wisconsin, grew up in Mississippi and in Georgia, lived in Texas, lived in Connecticut, but I planted my flag and my feet here in Georgia. And I look around this room and I see people who've not only planted their feet, but planted their dreams here in Georgia. Folks who have given of their time and their talent and their treasure to invest in the communities that they serve. See, when I go to South Georgia, I know I can't travel there without calling Bobby Fuse first. And that if I'm anywhere near Middle Georgia, Fanica Miller's name has to come out of my mouth. I know that if you go to Savannah, you've got to talk to Van Johnson about what he's doing for his city. And I know where my parents live in Stone Mountain, they are well represented by Senator Steve Hinson. When Rome, Georgia needed a voice in their city council, they got Wendy Davis. And when the Senate needed a new leader, it got Gloria Butler. We know that Sachin Varghese was our attorney over in the House when we were fighting for good maps. And I know when we need a good man who understands labor and power, you look to Ben Myers. When I served in the House, I was privileged to help elect new people. And I saw Bob Trammell come up from Troup County. When I was working to elect other folks, the Young Dems were a powerhouse, and that brought me to Rachel Pauley. We needed a new voice in Athens to make certain that justice rings out, and we've got Deborah Gonzalez. And when I was at the City of Atlanta watching new things unfold, there was Kathy Woolard. And you cannot make a decision in the Georgia General Assembly without consulting the Dean of the House, Calvin Smyre. I name each of you because each of you have claimed this state as your own. But more importantly, you claim the people as your own. But moving forward from dream to reality requires a force of nature and a leadership that is unparalleled, and that is why I'm so proud of my friend Nikema Williams, who was a state senator, is a congresswoman-elect, and serves as the chair of our party. But when we think about building a state, we've got to think about more than just who we used to be. We've got to think of who we will become, and that has always been the charge given to me by Pedro Marin, who speaks up for those who don't always get seen in our conversations, but he ensures that they are heard in our decisions. We stand not for ourselves and not for our party, but for the people of Georgia. It is on their behalf that we took up this charge to be electors. It is on their behalf that we are ensuring that the nation is led by a good man who believes in the soul of our nation and in all of its people. It is on their behalf that we come together today to cast our votes for Joseph R. Biden and Kamala Devi Harris. It is for them, the people of Georgia, that I say today we are electors, but we are also servants. Servants of a better Georgia, servants of a better future, and servants of the United States of America. We will now cast our ballots for the President of the United States. The ballots for president will be distributed to each of the electors. Please complete your ballot once you receive it. Upon completion, your ballot will be collected and provided to our secretary for review. Afterwards, I will confirm your vote with each of you via roll call. Ballots have been reviewed and transmitted. As I call your name, please state the name of the person for whom you cast your vote for president. I will start by stating that I cast my vote for President Joe Biden. Gloria Butler.
I cast my vote for President Joe Biden.
Wendy Davis.
I cast my vote for President Joe Biden.
Bobby Fuse.
I cast my vote for President Joe Biden.
Deborah Gonzalez. Steve Hinson. Van Johnson,
I cast my vote for President Joe Biden.
Pedro Marin,
I cast my vote for President Joe Biden. Mi voto para el presidente Joe Biden.
Fanika Miller, Ben Myers, Rachel Pauley, Calvin Smyrie, Bob Trammell, Sachin Varghese, Nikema Williams,
I cast my vote for President Joe Biden.
Kathy Woolard. I am pleased to announce that Joseph R. Biden has received 16 votes for President of the United States. We will now cast our ballots for Vice President of the United States. The ballots for Vice President will be distributed to each of the electors. Please complete your ballot once you receive it. Upon completion, your ballots will be collected and provided to our Secretary for review. Afterwards, I will confirm your vote with each of you via a roll call vote. As I call your name, please state the name of the person for whom you cast your vote for Vice President. I cast my vote for Vice President for Kamala Harris. Gloria Butler.
I cast my vote for the first black female, Kamala Harris, for Vice President.
Wendy Davis.
I cast my vote for Kamala Harris for Vice President.
Bobby Fuse.
I cast my one vote for Vice President Kamala Harris.
Deborah Gonzalez. Steve Henson. Calvin Smyrie. Van Johnson.
I proudly cast my vote for history, Vice President Kamala Harris.
Pedro Marin.
Proudly, I cast my vote for the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, mi voto para la Presidente de este gran país, Kamala Harris.
Fanika Miller. Ben Myers. Rachel Pauley. Bob Trammell. Sachin Varghese. Nikema Williams.
I proudly cast my vote for my soror, Vice President Kamala Harris.
Kathy Woolard. I am pleased to announce that Kamala D. Harris has received 16 votes for Vice President of the United States. Do I have a motion that the presiding officer and the secretary be directed and authorized to prepare the certificate of vote of the 2020 electors from Georgia? I hear a motion from Calvin Smyrie and a second from Pedro Marin. Any objections? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. 6 original duplicates of the certificate of vote have been prepared. A copy of the certificate of vote will be distributed to each of you. Please review it when you receive it. Is that what's currently sitting on the desks? Okay. They will now pass out copies of the certificate of vote. And as these are being distributed, I will read it aloud. State of Georgia, Presidential Electoral College, Certificate of Vote. We, the undersigned, being the duly elected and qualified electors of President and Vice President of the United States of America from the state of Georgia, as set forth in the attached Certificate of Ascertainment, and hereinafter referred to in this certificate as the 2020 Georgia electors, do hereby certify the following. A, that the undersigned 2020 Georgia electors convened and organized at the state capitol in the city of Atlanta, county of Fulton, Georgia, at 12 noon on the 14th day of December 2020 to perform their duties as electors of President and Vice President as set forth in the laws of the United States of America and the state of Georgia. B, that Stacey Abrams presided and that Sachin Varghese served as secretary for the meeting. C, that the undersigned 2020 Georgia electors proceeded to vote by individual ballot and voted first for president and then for vice president by distinct ballots, resulting in the 2 distinct lists set forth below. D, that the undersigned 2020 Georgia electors cast each of their respective ballots for President of the United States of America as follows. The name of persons voted for, Joseph R. Biden of the state of Delaware, number of votes received, 16. That the undersigned 2020 electors cast each of their respective ballots for the Vice President of the United States of America as follows. Name of persons voted for, Kamala D. Harris of the state of California, number of votes, 16. Witness the hands and seals of the undersigned as the duly elected and qualified electors of the President and Vice President of the United States of America from the state of Georgia this 14th day of December 2020. Stacey Yvonne Abrams, Gloria S. Butler, Wendy Davis, Bobby L. Hughes Jr., Deborah Gonzalez, Steve Henson, Van R. Johnson, Pedro Pete Marine, Fanika Thomas Miller, Ben E. Myers Jr., Rachel Pauley, Calvin Smyrie, Bob Trammell Jr., Sachin Varghese, Nikema Williams, Kathy Woolard. Do I have a motion to approve the certificate of vote of the 2020 electors from Georgia? Is there a second? The motion was properly moved by Nikema Williams and seconded by Fanika Miller. Any objections? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? The motion carries. Each elector will now execute each of the 6 original duplicates of the certificate of vote. So what will happen now is that each person will receive an opportunity to sign the 6 copies.